The New Patriotic Party, the NPP, has set Saturday, January 31st, 2026, as a day to elect a flag bearer for the party going into the 2028 general election. This will be the first time the NPP is electing a flag bearer first before electing other officers within the party. The NPP has a convention of always electing from the base to the top, but this time around the party says it will elect a flag bearer first before thinking of electing other officers within the party. This was one of the outcome of the party's National Executive Committee meeting and National Council meeting held on Tuesday at Alisa Hotel here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi, and this is the situation. When we come back from the break, we'll give you a breakdown of what happened at this meeting, the other decisions the party took at this crucial meeting, and what the presidential aspirants who are lacing their boots to lead the NPP in the 2028 general election have also been saying. We'll speak to their spokesperson and how their campaigning already begun.
Makes you do what you otherwise would not do. Wealth makes you live the way you wish to live. But revenge cancels the lines between poverty and riches.
It's either you're saying something progressive, or I'll just tell your wife that I'm carrying your child.
Where is my father? Now that he's coming closer to the community, I'm going to forget your own plans. So I go figure my own.
On the Upside Down Show this week, we present to you the bold, vibrant, and brilliant Anita S. King. Expect nothing short of real talk, raw truths, and revelations. We always need that one opportunity to sprout, and she, like any other, isn't an exception. Ghana made me, she said.
My career started here.
Here in Ghana.
Right. Ghana is my foundation. 150%.
Great.
Home is what built me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Ghana is what built me. If you see Anita and who Anita is today, it's because Ghana built me. Yeah, 100%.
To the land.
You know?
Right. So
love you, Canada, but Ghana built me.
And even though she's perceived as a superwoman, she's had to make tough decisions at some point.
I had to take 2 steps back away from my career. And also, and this is what I share with a lot of my friends and my colleagues now, is a wonderful appreciation that in different phases of your life, you are a particular person.
Right.
You don't have to be the same person you were before that.
Exactly.
You have nobody to please.
So, set your reminder and join us at 7 p.m. this Sunday, only on Channel 1 TV.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still watching The Situation Room, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Situation Room, we talk politics and everything that has to do with politics. Before I went on the break, I was telling you about the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. If you're aware, the party has decided to elect a flag bearer first before electing other national officers or other officers of the party. In time past, the NPP has always elected from the base to the top. So they start with the polling station, where then they come to the electoral coordinators, constituency executive, regional executives, and then national executives. But the party this time around thinks that electing a presidential candidate first for the party is in the best option available for the MPP as it prepares for the 2028 general election. As always, my name is Sami Wiafe, and I do this with my friend brother Fred Tete Jabana. Fred, how are you?
Sami, I'm doing well. How have you been?
I'm well. Were you surprised when the MPP said they were going to elect the flag bearer first before other national officers or other officers?
Surprised? Yes. I wouldn't say I was surprised, because don't forget that some few weeks ago we're on this same show where we discussed the proposals which had been sent to the committee to review the amendment of the constitution of the MPP. And one of the proposals we told, which came up at the time, was to hold an election where you would vote for the flag bearer first before the national executives. So it didn't come to me as a surprise. What actually it did was just it took me a little bit out of gear, in the sense that I was thinking that the party would have gone with the normal
process, you know,
from
the polling station,
bottom top instead of the top bottom. But then it was one proposal which had been put out in the media, it had been discussed. You had various people within the MPP speaking about this particular proposal. Everybody shared different views about this particular proposal. So yes, it didn't come to me as a surprise. For me, it was the reaction to this announcement. Exactly whatever the party has practiced over the years should be the case.
Just stick to it.
They are the liberals who also feel like, no,
there should be changes.
The party should have a new face. And then we shouldn't always have that one jacketed thing. So these were the two groups of people in the party I was trying to follow and see what their views are. When you listen to both groups, it looks like there's a consensus. The consensus is we need to, as a party, hold early elections. So the two groups agree that there's supposed to be an early election which is supposed to be held. So there's no disagreement when it comes there. And it came as no surprise that the General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia, yesterday in an interview on The Point of View, indicated that it was a unanimous decision to hold the election quite early. But where the disagreement is, or was, is the fact that should we hold the flag bearer election first and now start to hold the national executive position elections? Or should we hold the national executive elections? So you start the internal elections from the polling stations all the way to the national executive elections. So this is where there seemed to be some disagreement during the conversation. We are told that the people who believe that the flag bearer should be held first make the point that in order to bring unity, in order to ensure that you have some time to be able to resolve all the differences, let's hold the flag bearer election first, because they think that that is what divides the party
a lot
most.
So they've always made that argument.
Yes, let's hold that flag bearer position first, so that when we are done with that, then we can now come and do the other elections. By that time, we'll be able to mend the divisions within the party.
And another argument you also make on why there's the need to elect the flag bearer first, they feel they need to give the party some level of stability. For now, they feel the MPP is in turmoil. They feel the MPP doesn't have a leader. The MPP is more or less being run from Parliament. Afenyo is the one doing more or less the leadership thing.
The face of the
party now. Because the national chairman now, as we speak, his family just a week or two ago issued a strong statement asking that the party allows the national chairman to step aside because of ill health. So if the party is in the opposite, the national chairman is leader. Now this letter from the family asking the national chairman is not well to step aside, then who takes the leadership role of the party? So the party's argument is that because of the current settings within the party, it's better if you elect a flag bearer first to more or less act like the leader of the party. And also they need an opposition leader because they want a leader who, when the president does something, will be able to speak as the president in waiting. But now there's no individual like that within the party. And so they feel that electing a flag bearer early enough will give the party someone who will be the main opposition leader. They also talk about getting someone they can rally around, because they feel that now there's no individual who the party can really rally around. Compared to 2008, 2012, and 2016, Akufo-Addo was the face of the party. So even in opposition, he was the go-to guy. He was the one everybody was going to. For now, the MPP doesn't have that go-to guy within the party. And so electing a flag bearer early enough will let the party know that at least we have a leader, the go-to person. The other argument the Frank Davis committee also made was that they needed resources. Now, if there's anybody who wants to help the party, who do they present the resource to? Who do they go to? So if there's a presidential candidate, the party knows that if there's any other resource, we are taking it straight to the presidential candidate who will use it to the benefits of the MPP. But for now, because they don't know where to channel these resources to. So these were some of the arguments put forward by the Frank Davis committee. And the Frank Davis committee is a committee that has been tasked by the National Council to put together all the proposals for an amendment. And according to them, I have the opportunity to speak to some members of the committee, and they say that over 90% of the proposals that they received were all pushing for an early Congress. And so, if these are the proposals, why don't we do what the people or the party people feel that we should do? And so, at this particular meeting, they pitched this idea, and National Council and NEC felt that okay, it was a good idea. So let's go with whatever the proposals are. The need why they push for it. And then secondly, they also felt that it was time for the MPP to also deal with the issues of unity, as you mentioned. They've always identified the presidential primaries to be one factor that brings about a lot of disunity within the MPP. You could talk about 2008, the 17, wise men, and then the other ones that followed in 2023. So they felt that the party needs to address issues of unity, and so electing a flag bearer early will help mend all the fences. The olive branch will be extended to all the disgruntled members, and they could come together to form a united front and face the NDC in the 2028 general election. They believe that electing the national officers, regional executives, and the rest do not bring much of disunity compared to the presidential primaries. And so clearing that one off and then dealing with the little election, that's how I call it, the little election, will not really, the smaller ones. Aside that, there were also other proposals for extension, or more or less like the expansion of the Electoral College.
So before we go to the expansion of the Electoral College, we've spoken about the group of people who support the early Congress. There was the second group, which also had issues with the electing the flag bearer first. They wanted the bottom-top approach. What were the arguments on that?
So the argument is that the MPP as a political party is known to deal with law. And they believe that stick to the system that has helped you over the years. Why do you want to change a system? Is it that you are creating this new system to favor somebody or favor any of the aspirants? That was the argument they were making, because they felt that the party still has time. If you look at the party's constitution, it says that when the party is in opposition, you need 24 months to the election. Now, looking at the time, the party is still within the time frame. It's only when the party is in power that you need 11 or 12 months to elect a flag bearer. And so, why the rush? Why the need to elect a flag bearer now when there's a clear guideline for the constitution on the election processes? So, the counter argument was that let's stick to what has worked for the party over the years. Why would you want to change what has worked for the party? But there was a superior argument. They believe that electing it now, at a point, it even came to voting. And it was a majority decision to have the flag bearer elected early enough before the other internal elections.
On that particular issue, there's one explanation I heard from the people who believe that it should be a bottom-top approach. Their concern is that, look, you went into an election. The election you went into, you lost miserably as a party. It comes to one thing. It means that the vehicle going into the election has a problem.
Yeah.
So then, why don't you resolve and fix that vehicle, which is the party, than getting a driver? Before getting a driver, why do you want to get a driver first before fixing the vehicle? There are other people who also made the argument that, look, you have national executives who led the party alongside the flag bearer to an election and performed woefully. These national executives would need to come and account to the members of the party through an election and let us endorse them or remove them. After that, the new executives which the party, the base of the party will endorse, will have the power and the support of the group of people of the party to now go and organize an election to get a leader, which is the flag bearer, rather than having the same group of people who led the party into opposition, going to organize the same election, another election to get a leader. They believe that it is not right. They also believe that there are some national executives who are interested in retaining their positions. And to be able to retain your position, you need to find a way of getting a flag bearer elected. In getting a flag bearer elected, people are able to tell your leanings as to which of the flag bearers or folks or candidates you are going to support. Once you get your candidates to win the election, what happens next is that it is easy for you to go down there and get yourself retained. So these were some of the arguments which came up and which people who disagreed with the top-bottom approach put out. But as you said, the thing was put to a vote.
And then majority,
the
was
majority
a majority decision.
Got the victory. Let's move on to other issues within that particular meeting. There were issues of Electoral College. You mentioned that. And the introduction of some new positions within the constituencies. What did the council say about that?
So in the MPP structure, from the polling station to the national level, there's always the election of polling station executive, five officers. So there's a polling station chairman, secretary, women's organizer, youth organizer, and I think, there are five of them. But this time they want to add 2 new positions to it. That's the elections officer and research officer, making it 7.
Are they appointed or they are going
to be elected as well, making it 7. So instead of the 5 at the polling station, the expansion is to make it 7 within the polling station. So we have over 30,000 polling stations across the country, and so making it 7. And then there's going to be an expansion also on the electoral area. In the electoral area, I think every 5 or 6 polling station becomes an electoral area. This time they're going to be executives. Instead of one person becoming electoral area coordinator, they're going to have executive run these electoral areas. And so the electoral area chairman, secretary, and the rest also making it that particular number. And then the constituency level, they are now also going to decouple the research officer and election officer. And then we'll add another position, which will be a communications person for persons with disability. So they will add that one to the constituency executive, increasing the number from 17 to, I think, 90, because they will decouple the election and the research. And the same will be extended to the national level. And so we will see quite a number of people, quite an extension, of persons running as officers within the party from the police station to national level. There were also the proposal to allow all party members.
Sammy, before you go there, I have a question on that. When will you expand the base from the polling station to the constituency? This expansion, would it take effect in the coming election on January 31st?
That is the question I posed, and no one was able to answer, because as we speak, by December, the tenure of the current polling station executives will expire in December. And so on what basis are they also going to elect the flag bearer? But then we are told that the National Council, the second highest decision-making body of the party, can offer a waiver and extend the tenure of these officers. And so they may want to do that after the election, and then fresh elections may be conducted.
So, I get you, but my question still stands. You are expanding the base from 16 or 17 to 19. You are adding 2 more people at the various polling stations. If all these people are supposed to be partake in the election come January 31st, 2026, how are you going to get these 2 people or 3 people added? Would there be elections?
The party is expected to hold a special...
There will be appointments.
We'll leave that one to the Special Delegates Conference, which is expected to take place on the 18th to the 20th of July. That's next month. The party intends to use this platform to adopt the motions for the constitutional amendment. at that particular event, there may be an announcement on what the party intends to do with the question you pose. And hopefully in that particular conference, the National Council will take a firm decision on what you are talking about. I'm just hoping that they may be in a position to do that.
Talking about a conference, a committee has been set up.
A committee has been set up, chaired by Joe Osei-Uso, former MP for Bekwai, former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, expected to put everything, together and then ensure that these motions or proposals are adopted and included in the MPP constitution. So this conference will seek to adopt or reject some of the motions. Already the party has circulated these motions to all party members. And so by July 18th or 20th, every member of the party will have a copy and read through. And when they meet at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, that's when they will know whether to reject some of them or to adopt some of them. The last time the party made such an attempt was in 2021 in Kumasi, the Apenyo Market-led committee. But it couldn't take place. So the party is hoping that this time round, they will be in a position to adopt most of these proposals.
Adoption couldn't take place.
It couldn't take place.
The vote was not.
Yes, so they deferred it to the
time.
National Council to do that. But because the party was also preparing to elect a flag bearer and the other national officers, so they put that one on hold. But they are hoping that in July 18th to the 20th, the 3-day event, they will be able to adopt these proposals or reject same and then imbibe the ones they've adopted into the party's constitution. So we'll have a new constitution of the MPP from what we are already seeing. There may be some amendment to the party's constitution after July 18th and 20th. And talking about the announcement, we've seen some movement within the front of the presidential aspirants.
As soon as the announcement
was made, you could see some of these aspirants having meetings.
Yes.
And calling people for special meetings. Just a while ago, Dr. Bawumia met some members of, we are told over 60 members of parliament.
So we had some representatives of the 60 going to see Dr. Bawumia in his office this afternoon to officially throw their support behind him. Dr. Bawumia. This meeting came right after some few hours after the General Secretary says, okay, we are going to open nominations in July. And per the party's constitution, when you read it, it says that you are supposed to give a 6 months period. Notice. And the 6 months notice, according to the party, would begin from July. So in July, we are told that the party would officially open nominations for people who are interested to contest, to start picking up forms, filing their forms, and campaign to contest. Once the referee, or what will you call in football, you say the match commissioner. The match commissioner gave a hint of what was going to happen. The football teams just have started.
They were waiting on the touchline, just waiting for the referee to officially announce what's going to happen.
So we've had MPs, current sitting MPs, going to support Dr. Bawumia. Within the same time, we had Kennedy Ejapon, who's also expressed interest, meeting former MMDCs, also discussing what his plans for the party is, or what his plans for the party are, and what he intends to do with the party if elected as flag bearer. There's also one person who has set up a committee. His committee was set up about a month ago, Brian Champon, who also says that he's waiting for
advice.
The report of the committee to decide as to whether he is going to contest or not. But now that the match commissioner has decided to say that we are going for the election on January 31st, has anything changed with the Brian campaign? Are they going to contest? Would they decide that they would step aside? When we were battling with that, just yesterday, another video comes out of former education minister, Yawedu Chum, doctor. And what is he saying? He says that he's been to California, he's been to Ghana,
he's consulted enough.
He's been able to run the educational sector well. He's spoken to many people, and they think that it is time for him to lead the MPP. So he's also shown face going to contest. Dr. Educhum, some few weeks ago, posted something on his Facebook about this intent and was quickly deleted. A lot of people thought maybe he had changed his mind or he had reviewed his decision, but then he was just waiting for the appropriate time. He's also thrown himself into this race, and we'll see what happens.
And we should expect more. We should expect more people also coming up. In the coming weeks, I'm told about 2 other announcements will also come of individuals who are also, declaring their intent to lead the MPP. And so we should expect more people to show up.
Kwabena Eje-Oppong, we are told, is also going to contest. Kwabena Eje-Oppong was
contested the last time.
Contested the last one, but was part of Dr. Bawumia's campaign team. He has also given an indication that he will be contesting this particular election. But we are told that we have somebody joining us via Zoom. So
we'll speak to the various spokesperson or the various members of the various campaign teams of these aspirants. And first of all, we are told that Davis Oppong Ansa, he's a member of parliament for the Impriso constituency, and then from the camp of Dr. Brian Echampong, former Minister for Agric and the current member of parliament for the Ebitifi constituency in the Eastern region. For Davis Oppong, we call him OPK. That's the most popular name, a lot of people know him with. He's joined us on the phone to speak to us on this. Davis, on Zoom, I told you he's on Zoom to speak to us. Davis, if you can hear me, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Sammy. Sammy, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you very much for asking.
You're looking good.
Sure. Your boss set up a committee to advise him on his ambition.
Yes.
Has the advice been given yet?
Well, I think that the committee is finalizing its report, but I can confidently tell you that is determined to contest, and very soon the Ghanaian people will hear from him. We believe that, Brian Echampong possesses what it takes to move Ghana forward. It's got the ability to marshal resources in terms of the human capital needed to move Ghana forward. It's got a clear vision, which very soon will be outlining to the Ghanaian people, and also most especially to the MPP delegates to consider him at the next poll. So I can tell you, Brian is determined to contest, and very soon we'll hear from Channel 1 TV, Brian himself speaking to the Ghanaian people.
Why does he want to be president?
Well, first of all, he has a vision where he believes that in Ghana, where we are now, there ought to be an accelerated development. Taking into account how we are able to move our economy to an appreciable level where we can compete, even on the African continent with the South Africans and all of that. So there's a broader vision, how to better the lives of our people and how to improve the lots of Ghanaians. A country where poverty is still on the high, a country where kids still do not have places to learn. They still have schools under trees, a country where technology as we have it is still behind in an appreciable level. It needs a dynamic leader, a leader who is senatorial, a leader who is Ghanaian experience, a leader who has traveled the mill. And of course, now the world is tilting towards having young and vibrant leaders to lead nations, and that's what Brian brings to the table. He's senatorial, he has experience, he has what it takes to lead Ghana and to lead Ghana to where it rightly belongs.
OPK, just before officially the race begins, we are told that 60 of your colleagues have thrown their support behind one of the candidates, Dr. Bawumia. You are there with them in Parliament. You yourself and the candidate you are supporting, Honorable Brian Echampong, are there with them in the same house. If you have 60 of your colleagues supporting another candidate, what becomes of you? Because it tells us that even your own colleagues do not trust you to lead a party.
Well, I think in your earlier submission you put it right. The initial impression we were told were that 60 MPs had visited Dr. Bawumia and had declared. Now we are told that there were about 26 and they were a representative of the 60 MPs. I'm wondering if I'm a member of the 60 MPs or if Brian is also part of the 60 MPs, or if Kennedy or Senyakong, or if Olua, or if whoever are part, Serenamwa is part of the 60 MPs. I think the argument should move beyond getting MPs and saying 60 of the MPs, because those who are going to vote are about 250,000 if the reforms that the party is saying is true. What we should be worried about, my brother, is that we have gone into an election where, for the first time, we've seen the MPP perform abysmally. 41%. I mean, we won just 3 out of the 16 regions. There were about 8 regions that the MPP could not win presidential. None of the regions. I mean, we have 8 members of parliament, but our presidential candidate won just in 77 constituencies. That should be a worry. Not having MPs. We've seen this playbook play out in times past. I mean, mobilizing MPs and getting them to declare, and that ended up in 41% for the MPP. So that is not what the party people are looking for. I mean, visiting and declaring and saying that you have 60 MPs or you have 80 MPs or you have 88 MPs. Kennedy Japan's camp is saying that they also have 55 MPs. They are saying they also have 55 MPs in parliament. So which is which? Which of the two should we believe? For me, it is not about the number that you have in parliament. It's about the strategy you put forth to ensure that out of the 250,000 people who are going to vote, you emerge victorious. And that is what the Brian Champon campaign is focused on. We have a lot more MPs who support Brian. As we speak, we are in the campaign office. We are seated with about 11 members of parliament, some of whom attended this morning's meeting. And rightly so. I mean, if I were called, I'm a member of parliament. If I were invited that Dr. Bawumia wants to meet me this morning, I mean, for Christ's sake, this is the former flag bearer of the party, the immediate past vice president of the Republic of Ghana. And so if you're a member of parliament and you're invited by Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, I don't see why I should not go. So I was not called. If I were called, I would have been there. I'm sure if Brian were to be invited, he would be there. I'm sure if Stephen Amwa were invited, he would be there. So, you know, this political gimmicks and playbooks and all of that have not helped the MPP. We need to be real with our support base. We need to be sincere with them. Reasons why we lost, why the MPP for the first time will be performing this poorly. I mean, those are the reasons why the people want. And that is what we'll be taking to the grounds. That is what we'll be taking to the Ghanaian, the voter, the MPP delegate. We'll be explaining to them why Brian Champon possesses that character that is able to win the MPP one-touch victory in 2028. I mean, we are not ready to say that because Akufo went twice before he won, Akufo went 3 times before he won, we should be going 3 times or 4 times. We allow persons to go 3 or 4 before we win. I mean, that is not the focus of Brian. We are determined to win a one-touch victory, and that is what we seek to do.
Finally, for my last question in a minute,
Yes.
I've seen you raise concerns about the top-bottom approach the party is adopting. You posted on social media disagreeing with the decision of the party. Would that pose a challenge for your candidate?
Well, I think first of all, the campaign is of the opinion that the date that has been set, 31st January 2026, there seemed to be a challenge with it. I mean, Sami earlier on said that the General Secretary of the party has circulated memos round to every constituency secretary to be shared by the constituency party proposals that have been brought forth by several individuals and that have been fine-tuned by a committee that was set up by National Council. In July, the MPP will be going to our annual delegates conference, where we are to deliberate on these proposals and adopt them. Now, granted that the party goes to approve that for every polling station, we should have 7 instead of 5 polling stations. What it means is that once National Conference has approved, we need to go back to the base and ensure that we elect right from the polling station all the 7 members who form the polling station executive. How do you then say that you have put into motion an exercise for presidential candidates to go around and campaign? Campaign to who? Are they going to campaign to the existing 5 members or the 7 members that the National Council will be approving in July? It doesn't really add up. It doesn't make sense. And that is why, for us as a campaign, we will be officially writing to the party to hasten slowly. What we seek to do is to build a solid party that is ready to carry any presidential candidate to victory, and not just to elect a political party leader. That is not what the MPP people want. The loss that we lost, the level of defeat that we experienced in 2024 is not something to now begin to glorify an individual. The party and its base wants to see a stronger party, and that is what the Brand a Champion campaign will be pushing. I have seen senior members of the party disagree with this entire structure and the various proposals and the early days that have been brought forth. What I will urge the national leadership is to hasten slowly. I mean, this level of schemes and all of that has not helped the MPP, and we are where we are because of these things. We need to create a level playing field for everybody who seeks to contest or who seeks to stand as a presidential candidate or a presidential aspirant. You see, for the mere fact that somebody even devotes himself to want to contest for MPP presidential is the biggest sacrifice one can ever do. It involves a lot of energy. You need to move around with resources and all of that. So the least the party can do is to create a level playing field. This rush, when we have a national conference before us in just a month to decide on very key things that can change the constitution of our party, and you rush to declare that you are going to elect a flag bearer in January 31st, 2026. It doesn't add up. And we're a bit worried that people are allowing themselves to be used in this way.
Okay, Davis, thank you very much. Davis Oppong Ansa, also known as OPK,
thank you very much,
is the member of parliament for the Mpaiso constituency, and then with the camp of Dr. Brian Champo, former Minister of Agric and also member of parliament for the Ebitifi constituency. He has said that he set up a committee, as OPK said. The committee will advise him on what to do as far as the presidential ambition is concerned. But he's once again also confirmed that indeed he's going to contest the MPP presidential primaries. As you're aware, the party says that on Saturday, the 31st of January 2026, they will hold this crucial election over who leads the party going to the 2028 general election. This is the situation. We're coming to you live from our studio here in the crowd. We go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more for you.
Meet Asantwa, a loving wife, devoted mother of one, and a celebrated business owner in her community. Asantwa has worked hard to save money, but struggled to find the right investment opportunity. With big dreams and a heart for her community, she always aspired to build a business that could provide for her family and create a lasting impact. Yet, meaningful business ownership opportunities were hard to come by until she discovered Jibu. Partnering with Jibu changed everything. Through her franchise network, Asantwa received the equipment, training and support she needed to launch her own business. Purifying and selling affordable, refillable drinking water, soon her investments began yielding strong returns, transforming not only her livelihood but also her community and environment. Today, Asantwa's dreams are becoming a reality. Through her Jibu franchise, she's creating jobs, empowering others, providing clean water, and building a brighter future for all. Jibu is transforming lives across Africa with a presence in over 8 countries and 10,000 communities. Join the movement and start your journey towards a better life. Contact us today on 020-984-5817. Jibu, a better life.
You're still watching The Situation. We're coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We have to go to Parliament because the Electoral Commission is in the House to update members of Parliament on the 2024 general election and also an update on the Abluma North constituency issue, which had dominated political discussion for a while. The Deputy EC Chair, Dr. Bosman Asare, is currently on the floor of Parliament addressing members of the House.
Regions. During the IPAC meeting, the EC and IPAC members agreed that the reprinting should be done by the following printing houses: Interlude, Back Press, and Arts Commercials Limited. After the meeting with the political parties, the EC held a press conference where Ghanaians were informed about the reprinting. On Monday, 2nd December 2024, the Commission wrote to the Central Tender Review Committee, the CTRC, for the reprinting of the ballots for the three printing houses who have been selected at the IPAC meeting. The Commission eventually informed the printers to begin the printing on the 2nd of December 2024. In view of the pending elections, the Commission proceeded to reprint that ballot for the Western and Eastern regions in the absence of a formal approval from the CTRC. If the Commission had not done that, there will be no elections in the presidential and parliamentary elections for the Eastern and the Western regions. On 24th December, the Central Tender Review Committee granted formal approval to the Commission's request on 2nd December 2024 for the reprinting of the ballots for the said regions due to a reported incidence of leakage of ballot paper. It is instructive to note that the CTRC in their response referred to the letter the Commission sent on the 2nd of December 2024. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member, any supplementary question?
Indeed, yes, Mr. Chairman. Now, we have just informed this House that you ordered for the printing of the ballot papers that you referenced without receiving pro-approval from the PPA. And that amounted to breach of law. The procurement breach of the law, or breach of the procurement law. You agree with me? The question is that he agrees with me that that conduct amounts to a breach of the Procurement Act.
Well. Honorable members, please allow me to handle the House. I don't want these interjections.
You want to answer the question for him? Mr. Chairman.
Have you finished the question?
Oh, hold on. Mr. Chairman, please save me from my brothers. When I asked that the chairperson herself be here, they say no. He's capable of answering. Now he's answering, you are worried. He's answering the question, you are worried.
Honorable Dafiama, are you done with the question?
Yes, I've asked the question.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard the question.
Then you can go ahead to answer the question.
There was no breach of the procurement law. There was no breach. The commission wrote to the CTRC on 2nd December, and the elections were supposed to take place on 7th December. In the response by the CTRC, they indicated that we wrote to them on the 2nd of December. And before we printed the ballots, we wrote to the CTRC. So CTRC knew all the printing houses and the specific regions they were printing. So we didn't go to PPA. So it was only appropriate that when we had to redraw ballots for the eastern and central regions, we had to go back to the same organization that permitted us to engage these printing houses. So as far as we are concerned, there was no breach of the procurement law. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Honorable members. Yes, Honorable Nelson.
Please. You just told this house that but for ordering that printing of the ballots be done with prior to seeking approval, you would have been behind time. You just said that.
Is that the question?
Yes, that's the question.
Yeah, Deputy Commissioner, you may respond to him.
Yes. We said we had the problem came on the Friday, which was 29th November. Then we met with our parties on Sunday, which was 1st December. And in that meeting, the EC together with the parties identified 3 printers who will be able to do the work within the time available. So, Honorable, if you remember, Mr. Chairman, we had to reschedule the special voting for these 2 regions. So whilst all the other 14 regions were having the special voting, we had to reschedule the one for this particular 2 regions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If we do a yes or no answer, it will help. Now, please. Now, who was Honorable Deputy Commissioner? If I may have your attention. Now, which entity was in charge of the distribution of the ballot paper that you claim leaked, as a result of which you had to print a new one?
Yes, Honorable Deputy Commissioner.
Which entity was in charge of the distribution? The distribution was done before. No, the distribution historically has been done by the EC together with the Ghana Police Service. And when we are distributing to, the political parties are involved. So it's not done by only the EC. The EC is the lead person, lead institution, but the Ghana Police Service, the political parties also have their representatives.
Don't misunderstand my question. I am asking you whose responsibility, official duty it is to distribute the ballot papers. Ballot papers which leaked, as a result of which you have to reprint. That's my question.
In terms of responsibility in this, is the Electoral Commission.
Thank you. That's all I need.
Well. Honorable Dafiama, but we've asked 3 supplementary questions.
Mr. Speaker.
Sit down.
Honorable members, please allow me. Honorable members, shall we read the... Please resume your seat. Please resume your seat. I just want to read the order aloud for all of us. The leader may have the supplementary questions more than 5. But the owner of the question has not more than 3 supplementary questions per our standing orders. The leader is there. The leader may have the opportunity to ask as many questions that he has. But please, let's all respect the standing orders. The standing orders is saying the owner of the question. In this case, Honorable Dafia Mopo is here as the owner of the question. He has asked the main question, the substantive question, and I've given him 3 other chances to ask by way of supplementary questions. So please, let's allow the procedure to go on. If there is any other question you want to ask, you can pass it on to somebody else. I beg of you. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, just for a guide, is the evidence that I have asked 3 supplementary questions since the substantive? Is that the evidence? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Honorable members. Yes, let me start with Honorable Member for Solar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Please, no interjections. If you want to speak, I'll give you the opportunity. Only that, if we spend so much time, I may have to bring it to a close. Per our standing order, you shouldn't spend more than 1 hour for questions. So if the questions are so sensitive, I may indulge our time so that we go beyond it. But if we begin interjecting members, then within 1 hour we shall bring this session to a close. So let's respect each other so that we can have enough time to ask any question you want to ask. Yes, let me come to Member for Solar.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my question is, what could have caused the leakage of the ballot papers, and were there any investigations carried out and people found culpable punished? Because it costs us money.
Thank you very much. Honorable Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. The National Security wrote a letter to the Commission that they were investigating, but we haven't received any report to that effect.
Very well. So I'll give you one more chance.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not satisfied with the answer.
It's not the issue of I'm satisfied or I'm not satisfied. Please. That is the answer he can offer. Let's take it. Yes. Yeah. Let him go here. Honorable Member for Bandai.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to find out from the EC. He said when they realized that the ballots papers leaked, and looking at how close the elections were, they invited the political parties. Can you tell us the political parties that were involved?
Yes. Honorable Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. All the political parties that were registered at the time, including even those that did not have candidates for the presidential elections, all of them attended that meeting.
Very well.
MPP and NDC were there.
Very well. Now let me go. Okay. No, let me.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to find out from the EC. He's quoted amounts that they use in printing the ballots. Did you spend according to the approved budget? Thank you very much.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Yes, please. We spent according to the approved budget.
Very well. Yes, let me go to main team. I request main team.
Oh, man. Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Please, you accepted or you indicated that it was the commissioner, electoral commissioner, that was responsible for the distribution of the papers. That is what you told us. The Electoral Commission. Yes. Now, if you were responsible for that and there was a leakage, would you accept a failure on your part?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Although the Electoral Commission is mainly responsible for that, there are other institutions, several players who also play a role. And at the time, the Commission was thinking about the greater good of the Ghanaian society. And we believe that going into the elections, having all the players accepting the rules of the game was more important. So the Commission took that decision. Thank you.
Very well. I come here one, so I'll come to you. Yes, let me go to Honorable Member for
Himai Lower
Denchura.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. May I know for the Deputy Commissioner that during printing, all political parties are required to be there to ensure the supervision of the printing?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Yes, please. We gave letters to all the political parties, so not all of them were able to provide agents, but a number of them had their agents there. Thank you.
Very well.
My follow-up question. Is it also true? I heard a news item that stated that there was no leakage. However, it was rather the NDC rep who was in the room who detected an anomaly, and therefore there was no leakage, and then raised the issue.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
That's not the case, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Let me come to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to ask the Deputy Commissioner whether this incident, this has been the first of its kind, and if this was not the first of its kind, how did they help solve this, the earlier one, apart from this current one?
Well, Deputy Commissioner.
That's the first time as an institution we've had such a problem.
Any follow-up? Yes. Dr. Kabiru.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would want to know whether or not the circumstances that led to the printing of ballots after the general elections, as posed by in the question, whether it was peculiar to these elections or previous cases. We've had such cases in the past where you have to print ballots after the general elections.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
If I got the question well, did you say printing ballots after the general election or signing contracts?
The question that was posed to you was whether you have awarded contract for the printing of ballots, for the printing and supply of ballots. That was a substantive question that was asked, and you answered it by brilliantly. The question that I'm asking as a follow-up is whether or not that situation of awarding and printing ballot was only peculiar to the 2024 election or 2020 elections. Before even that one, we have similar cases of you having to award and print ballots after the elections.
Yes.
Or since the election.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The standard practice is you give the award before the printing even begins. But this was a special circumstance, and the law allows that for you to address that. And let me also state that the Central Tender Committee, when we wrote the letter to them, their first meeting after the letter was 23rd of December. So they couldn't have given us the approval before the elections. Thank you.
Chairman, you didn't understand my question.
You are follow up a second question, please.
You didn't understand my question.
Honorable Dr. Kabiru, if you didn't understand it, put the question in such a way that you understand, but you take it as your first question has been asked.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, the question I'm asking is that the Electoral Commissioner admitted that they had awarded contract for the printing and supply of ballot box since the 2024 general election. His answer has admitted that. And I'm asking, is this the practice within the commission even before these particular elections? That's the question I'm asking.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
And I try to explain that the standard practice is to award the contracts before. But this was a special circumstance which necessitated that. Thank you.
Second question.
Dr. Kabilo,
let
me go to Reverend Intoso.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to know from the Deputy Electoral Officer that with regards to he reporting this matter to the National Security, may I know the last time you made a follow-up? Because it is 6 months after election. When was the last time you made a follow-up with the electoral, with the National Security, where they have gotten to? Because you were expecting a report from them.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Right after the elections, we followed up. But we didn't get any response. And you know, we are in the process of doing a review of the 2024 general elections. We should be doing it very soon. So these are some of the things we'll be talking about.
Well.
Mr. Speaker, he said right after the elections. Right after the elections could be in January. We are in June. So you mean after January, you have not made any follow-up as to whether they are done or not? That was my question. So if you're saying that you did a follow-up right after the election, it implies that it could be January. So my question is that, when was the last time after the election?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, we have our Deputy Chairman for Operation who is primarily in charge of that. And he has done the follow-ups, as I said, right after the election. And the 2024 election, as far as the Electoral Commission is concerned, we haven't concluded the process. So these are some of the things very soon you hear from us. Thank you.
Well. Honourable members, this side is... so I'll give Ashaman, then... so Ashaman, let me hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I heard from the Deputy Director that they seek approval from the CTR. Is that the authority responsible for procurement issues in this country? And B, which procurement method did you use in getting the contract for the supply of the ballot papers?
Well. Deputy Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We did a national competitive tendering. And the CTRC came in because the threshold was more than that of the entity. The entity has a threshold of 1 million Ghana cedis. So anything beyond 1 million Ghana cedis, you have to get concurrent approval from the CTRC. So that's the main reason why we went to the CTRC. Thank you.
Well, you asked 2 questions. You have answered 2 questions. You have asked 2 questions, my brother.
Mr. Speaker, don't be unfair to me.
Thank you.
You know me and you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director, can you furnish this House with all the procurement proceedings leading to acquiring or leading to awarding this contract, the 2024 general election? Can you furnish?
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the national competitive tender, what we do is that we advertise in the newspapers. Which one?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not saying you should tell us now.
You want the documentation?
We want the documentation.
No, we have everything there.
From the meeting.
Well. He says he has everything we can provide. Yes, I'm taking Peter Trobu and Deputy Minister for Education. Then I come to leadership if there's any. Yes, Peter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The Electoral Commission is responsible for distribution of electoral materials. And there was a leakage. And the leakage cost the taxpayer 6 million Ghana cedis. Will you agree with me that this cost, this financial loss to the state, is the responsibility of the EC?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
The Chairman, from the Commission standpoint, this is not a financial loss to the state. It's not a financial loss to the state, largely because when you look at the budget that was given to us, the Commission did not exceed, let me put it that way. But beyond that, please let me answer, beyond that, the procurement method we adopted as an institution, ensured that we were able to reduce the prices. So when you compare the cost of elections in Ghana now, in 2016, the country did the cost of election was almost $13 per voter. In 2020, we did $7.70 per voter. And in 2024, when we finish the process, we will likely do something like less than $4. So for the Electoral Commission, we believe that by ensuring that the process was credible, we needed to have the support of all the parties. So we think we did the right thing for the country. Thank you.
Well. Yes, Honorable Clement Park.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to know from the Deputy Commissioner whether internally the Commission filed a case or a report with the Ghana Police Service.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, because the National Security took it over, we allow them to continue and we'll get the details. Thank you.
Well. So I give you the last.
Mr. Chairman, I disagree.
Honorable.
Yes, I disagree.
Honorable.
I disagree. The Commission ought to have filed a formal complaint with the police.
Honorable Clement Park.
The Commission ought to have filed a formal complaint with the police.
Honorable Clement Park.
You don't renege on your responsibility.
Honorable Clement Park.
Because a security agency has taken the matter upon itself. You have no report.
Honorable Clement Park. You are my friend.
He is wrong.
Honorable Clement Park. It is not your case to decide whether you agree or you don't agree. He has responded. Let him now come to leadership. Leadership. Honorable Leader of the House, Honorable Mahama Ayaga, any question?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. My first question is, I can't agree with the Deputy Commissioner for telling us that...
Honorable, hold on. You are to ask a question. It is not your case to say, I don't agree or I'm not agreeing with you. Just ask the question. He's here to answer questions. So ask the question. As to whether the question answer satisfy you or not is another angle. Your duty is to ask the question. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Mr. Chairman, would the Deputy Commissioner agree with me that he caused financial loss to the state? I say so because if you have a budget line resources have been given to you, and out of your own negligence, you leak the papers.
Honorable Leader, I Deputy Whip, you know very well, under our rules, a question that has been asked, you don't need to go there again.
Mr.
That question
Speaker,
has been asked.
Mr. Speaker, the next question is.
Yes, I'm listening to the next question.
Mr. Chairman, the Deputy Commissioner did tell the House that he will provide us information in respect of the procurement that they did. How soon will he provide those information to the House?
Honorable Deputy Commissioner, members would like to know the time. How soon are you going to provide the information?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is something we can produce to the House maybe later by next week. But let me also say that what happened in 2024, the Commission was guided by the integrity and the credibility of the elections. And that one trumped all other concerns. So if even as an institution, we needed to exceed our budget to ensure the integrity of the process, we would have gone ahead to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, let him now come to leader. Honorable members, we will now move to question B, and the question still stands in the name of Honorable Roxanne Nelson Eche Kwame Dafiamabo. So, Honorable, you may take the second substantive question.
Speaker Chairman, may you live long. Because a lot of things have been revealed today. Speaker, my second question is in respect to ask the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, what exactly has prevented the Commission from declaring the Abluma North parliamentary results since the December 7th elections? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I would like to start by saying that the Electoral Commission is anxious about completing the Abluma North parliamentary election results to ensure that the people of Abluma North have a representative in Parliament. As such, we are not relenting and we are not resting on our oars, but we are continuing to engage with the security agencies to ensure that we have the protection to complete the collation. It must be noted that an Accra High Court on 4th January 2025 ruled that the Electoral Commission should go and complete the collation of the results for Tema Central, Abluma North, Okaikwe Central, and Techiman South constituencies. We have completed all the constituencies except Abluma North. These are the efforts the Commission has made so far to ensure the completion of the Abluma North parliamentary results since the December 7th elections. On the 9th of December 2024, 15 polling station results were added to the already collated results. All the 54 polling station results, or the pin sheets, were received from the National Democratic Congress. This brought to 219 collated polling station results. On the 21st of December 2024, 25 polling station results were added to the collation process. All the 25 polling station results were received from the New Patriotic Party. It is important to emphasize that the third 25 pin sheets were not scanned pin sheets, but rather carbon copies from the MPP. Even though the NDC collation agents reported late after 10 of the carbon copies had been authenticated by the returning officer, they were also allowed to go through these 10 carbon copies of the results. Consequently, the rest of the remaining 15 carbon copies were authenticated by both the NDC and MPP agents for that day. This brought to 244 collated polling station results. 37 polling station results became outstanding. On the 5th of January, 17 polling station results were added to the collation. All the 17 polling station results, scanned copies, were received from the MPP and confirmed by the NDC agents. This brought to 261 collated polling station results. It should be noted that the decision to accept the scanned pin sheets from the parties was unanimously agreed upon by the Commission and the political parties. This decision was reached as a result of both parties admitting that they no longer have carbon copies of the results in their custody. On the 6th of January, 13 polling station results were added to the collation. All the 13 polling station results were received from the MPP and confirmed by the respective presiding officers of the 13 polling stations. All 13 presiding officers were brought in to verify their signatures and the results on the scanned copies. This brought to 274 collated polling station results. The presiding officers were made to confirm the scanned copy results because the NDC agents refused to confirm them. Once again, on the 8th of January 2025, 4 polling station results were added to the collation. All the 4 polling station results were received from the MPP and confirmed by the respective presiding officers. The presiding officers signed their respective pin sheets to confirm their authenticity. On all of these days, both the NDC and the MPP agents were present and witnessed the confirmation of the scanned pin sheets by the presiding officers. This brought to 278 collated polling station results. So 3 polling stations are outstanding. These are the attempts the Commission has made since this last collation exercise. The Commission on several occasions has made efforts to complete the collation. On the 15th of January 2025, the Commission wrote to the Ghana Police Service, the National Election Security Task, to inform them that the collation on the 8th of January was not complete and requested for security to enable the EC to complete it on Friday, the 17th of January. In a press release dated 17th January, the Commission was informed by the police that per the intelligence available to them, the exercise should be put on hold. As a result of inadequate security, party supporters invaded the old office of the Commission and destroyed properties of the Commission, which included furniture, doors, and louver blades. Again, on 26 January 2025, the Commission wrote to the Ghana Police Service and the National Election Security Task Force requesting for a meeting on the completion of the collation process. In a response to our letter, the Ghana Police Service indicated that to ensure a peaceful and successful exercise, the Election Security Task Force has begun the consultative process for a convenient date and time for the meeting with all stakeholders associated with the exercise, scheduled to be held at the National Police Headquarters. On the 4th of February, the Commission wrote to the NEST, informing them of the National Election Security Task Force, informing them of the Commission readiness to attend the proposed meeting aimed at discussing the collation. Again, in a letter dated on 17 February, the Commission wrote to the Ghana Police Service to inform them about the urgent need to conclude the collation process, hence the request for adequate security. This was after the conclusion of the 2 outstanding Council of State elections for the Northeast and Ashanti regions on Monday, 17 February 2025. The Commission invited political parties to an IPAC meeting on 26 February 2025 and followed it up with another meeting with the MPP and the NDC on Thursday, 13th March 2025. The NDC at the meeting raised some issues and followed it up with a letter to the Commission to address the issues raised in their letter. The Commission responded to all the issues raised by the NDC in their letters dated 17th March and 30th April 2025. Among the issues raised were the lack of invitation to participate in the collation process, denial of involvement in the collation of the 25 scanned pin sheets on the 21st of December 2024, and concerns about the use of scanned pin sheets purportedly from the New Patriotic Party during the collation on 5th January 2025. On 28th March, the Commission again wrote to the Ghana Police Service and informed them about the 3 polling station results which are still outstanding and the need to complete the collation. In the same letter, the Commission requested a meeting at the earliest convenience of the Security Task Force to agree on a date for the completion of the collation. At the scheduled meeting on the 10th of April 2025, the Commission was informed that the IGP had traveled to Boku as a result of the conflict and will be briefed on its return. On 2nd May 2025, the Commission wrote to the Election Security Task Force requesting a meeting on Thursday, 8th May 2025 to discuss the collation. At the scheduled meeting on the 8th May 2025, the collation process was scheduled to be completed on 15th May 2025 at the old headquarters of the Commission. Before the date for the collation, the police invited the Electoral Commission for a meeting on 13th May 2025 and informed the Electoral Commission that there was a pending case at the Supreme Court with respect to the Abluma North constituency, and further indicated that because of the legal process at the Supreme Court, they were unable to provide security to the Commission for the completion of the collation, since that will amount to contempt of court. In a letter dated 15th May to the Ghana Police Service, the National Election Security Task Force, the Commission informed them that our attention has been drawn to the fact that there was no injunction application pending or any process that prevents the Electoral Commission from going ahead to complete the process, and further requested for protection to enable the Electoral Commission to do its work. Furthermore, in the letter, the Commission requested a meeting the next day, that is 16th May, on Friday, to agree on a date for the completion of the collation. The Ghana Police Service, the National Election Security Task Force, in a response to our letter, informed the Commission that the issue of the completion of the collation of Abluma North constituency parliamentary election result has been referred to the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice for legal advice, and further stated that in the view of the referral, the National Security Task Force will hold on until the legal advice is received. Since then, we have followed up with the police, and they have indicated they have not received the advice from the Attorney General. We have also had productive meetings with the two political parties about how to complete the parliamentary election collation at Abluma North. In the last meeting on the 12th of June, the two parties came with two perspectives to conclude the election. One of the parties stated that the process, the collation should continue, whilst the other party stated that there should be rerun in 37 polling stations. To conclude, the collation process in Abluma North has been very, very transparent, participatory, and accountable. The agents of the MPP and the NDC have always been present throughout the collation, as well as the media. The evidence of what transpired from the 9th of December were captured by the media, and this shows a transparent process devoid of bias, and it was open. The parties agreed to the use of scan sheets, and their agents approved of them. Mr. Speaker, this has been the process so far, and the evidence exists with all the major media houses that covered the collation. Mr. Speaker, the collation has been transparent. As a commission, we are desirous of ensuring that the people of Abluma North have a representation in Parliament. We urge this Honourable House to assist us in getting the support of the Ghana Police Service to provide the requisite protection to enable us to complete this collation exercise. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Nelson Echedam-Fiamapo.
Speaker, that was a long answer to a very short question.
So, honorable members, let's hear the owner of the question if he has any supplementary questions. Yes, honorable member.
Speaker,
any
let
supplementary
me
questions?
anchor my supplementary questions on Article 45C of the Constitution. Speaker. Speaker Chairman, with your leave, let me read. The Electoral Commission shall have the following functions. C, to conduct and supervise all public elections and referenda. Speaker, the answers provided to this very short question by the Electoral Commission are firmly anchored within Article 45C of the Constitution. They have the mandate to organize, conduct, and supervise our public elections. The implied powers are also that where you organize a public election and in pursuance of Regulation 36 of CI 127, it got disrupted, you have the power to organize a rerun of the elections. You agree with me? are you the Electoral Commissioner? Nyindam, are you the Electoral Commissioner? If you like, go and take the seat.
Honorable,
go and take the seat.
Honorable Dafiamapo, please address the chair.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Nyindam, you are ignored. Electoral Commissioner, you agree with me that in pursuance of Article 45C of the Constitution, and also in consonance with Regulation 36 of CI 127, where you exercise your mandate to conduct, organize, and supervise public elections, and same got disrupted by no fault of the Commission, you have the power to call for a rerun or reorganize that particular public elections. You agree with me?
Is that the question? Yes. Deputy Commissioner, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. In as much as I agree with...
Yes or no, then you can explain.
No, it's not yes or no. In as much we...
Hold on. Honorable Dafiamapo. Honorable Dafiamapo. Honorable Dafiamapo. Honorable Nelson Dafiamapo. Honorable member, please. Honorable member, please, you ask the question. You don't have the right to direct how the question be answered. So just ask the question, and the officer, in this case, the deputy chairman, deputy commissioner, will respond. So please don't direct the way you should answer the questions. So, deputy, you may go on to answer the question.
Chairman, thank you. I was going to make the point that if in the wisdom of the commission there should be a rerun, the commission would do that. But in the Ablekuma instance, the evidence of the results, we had the same instance in Dobikwabenya. We even went to the extent of collecting the tally cards from the agents of the parties. So Ablekuma North, we haven't reached the point where the commission will say we don't have the results. So when we try and we cannot get the results, that's when we will resort. So the rerun will be a last option. So once we get to that point, we will do. But as we speak now, the commission is ready to proceed with the collation. We just need the support of the security agencies to enable us complete it. Thank you.
Very well. Yes, Honorable Dafiamapo. Nelson, may you shift to other. Charlie, check your mic and let me see. Check your mic and let me see.
Sabotage.
This one is working.
Speaker, Mr. Chairman, the Deputy Commissioner misunderstood my question. Please. He misunderstood my question. My question was not to ask him to rerun the Ablekuma North elections, parliamentary elections. I situate my question within the law and to ask him whether the commission has the power that where they organize any public election and it got disrupted, whether they have no power to order for a rerun. That's why I said yes or no, then he could explain. And they won't permit me. So he proceeded to speak about Abluma North. That was not the gravamen of my question.
So can he go on to answer that question?
Yes. I want to hear him answer that question.
Administratively, I will say yes.
Great.
Yes. Next question.
Mr. Speaker, no, I don't have the last question. No, it's not even about leader.
Honorable member, just listen to me, please. Go
Speaker,
on and answer. Ask the question.
Mr. Chairman, please. I've spent some time in this house, and I know when leadership on the other side, when they are doing this, I know how they do it. Mr. Speaker, my question is this. The Electoral Commission has just told us that upon the conclusion of the elections in Abluma North in respect of the parliamentary elections, they could not account for some pink sheets. They could not. To the extent that they had to accept 25 scanned carbon copies from the MPP. To the extent that the Electoral Commission says that they have accepted scanned carbon copies from the New Patriotic Party. Mr. Speaker, this fact is not supported in the laws that govern the organization of our public elections. It does not. Speaker, let me read CI 127 in respect of
Honorable
Regulation 43.
Can you ask the question?
Speaker,
You've laid the foundation.
I am laying the foundation to make a point. It's supplementary. I've been here, your supplementaries were like 10 minutes just to build it.
Honorable, go ahead. And
Mr. Speaker, Regulation 43 is head noted Declaration and Publication of Parliamentary Election Results. 43.1, subject to Regulation 42, immediately after the results of the poll for all the polling stations in the constituency of the returning officer, have been given to the returning officer, and the returning officer shall, in the presence of the candidates or the representative of the candidate, or no more than 2 counting agents appointed by each candidate, assemble the results from the polling stations without recounting the ballots in the ballot boxes, except where there is a challenge by a candidate or a counting agent in respect of a specific ballot box. B, fill the parliamentary election results summary sheet as set out in Form 1D of the schedule. Speaker, the procedure provided for declaring the parliamentary results as set out in Regulation 43 of CI 127 is very clear. It's very clear.
So what is the question,
So
please?
the question is that where you have pink sheets of the Electoral Commission tainted, they cannot be accepting any other electoral pink sheets from any other political party. Speaker,
honorable member.
Speaker, please.
Honorable
Speaker, so I am putting it to him. That the story. Listen, please.
Honorable Dafiamepo.
Speaker,
Please
please.
ask the question.
Chairman, please. I am putting it to him that listen to the question. I am putting it to him. You are a layman, so you won't appreciate it. Putting it to him by way of question. Mr. Speaker, I am putting it to the Electoral Commissioner that the story that they took scanned carbon copies in the absence of the officially designated pink sheets from the Electoral Commission is irregular in terms of Regulation 43. And therefore, it has no basis to be counted and to be factored into the declaration of the results.
Honorable
Speaker,
Dafi Oppong.
I put that to him.
So is it a statement or a question?
Speaker, in other words, what I'm saying is that the story he has told us breach regulation 43 of CI 127. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm putting it.
Well, Honorable Deputy Commissioner, did you get all what he said?
I'll try and respond to.
Okay, answer the
Mr.
question.
Chairman, I think one of the things we need to state is that from the Commission standpoint, the country has made a lot of progress when it comes to electoral democracy. And the EC is mandated to do whatever is necessary.
With all due respect, he should answer the question that he can explain his answers. Yes, I agree, then you explain. No, I disagree, then you
Honorable
explain.
member.
He
Honorable member.
He
Honorable
cannot
member.
start with a story.
Honorable member.
Please.
Honorable Dafi Oppong. In asking the question, you went round before asking the question. If he is also responding the question in such a way that you and everybody here can understand, please allow him to answer the question.
Mr. Chairman, I take strong exception to the phrase that went round. I quoted the law.
Well, I
quoted the law. No. I quoted the law to lay a foundation to suggest strongly that the story that they had to borrow scanned carbon copies from the NPP was contrary to the provision in Regulation 43 of CI 127. That is what I put to him.
So, leader, if asked the question, just allow the Deputy Commissioner to answer.
Mr. Chairman, in my response, I indicated that when one of the parties brought the scanned copies, it was endorsed by the agents of the other parties. Let me also say that the Commission disagrees with the question because the Commission is mandated to ensure the integrity of the process. And as an institution, we are very careful. We don't do anything to set a bad precedent, which will go a long way to undermine the country's democracy. So in Domikwa Benya, when we had to go beyond our reach, to even reach out to agents of political parties to bring tally cards, we did that. So what we are basically saying is that we need the support of the House so that we can complete the process, because we think that it is unfair that the people of Abluma North don't have a representation in this August House. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Dafi Oppong.
Speaker, the Electoral Commission, in responding to my substantive question earlier, indicated that sometime on or about January 24, 2025, in pursuance of a High Court order, they were mandated to go and do a recount in the Abluma North constituency. If that is the fact, then I can ask my question. Is that correct?
To complete the collation.
Please.
To complete the collation.
Good. So, do you recall that as part of the court order, the court order in question, you were specifically directed, because part of the complaint before the court was that your returning officer was not permitted to lead the process, and therefore the court directed that go and rely on your returning officers to complete the process. You recall? And yet, in going back to do the recollation, you did not use your returning officer for Abluma North. He was not the returning officer. The returning officer for the December 7th elections was not the returning officer you used for the recollation for Abluma North in pursuance of the court order.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Honorable, the returning officer for the Abluma North constituency has not changed. So if you have been watching the proceedings on TV, the same person has been doing it. So check, please. The same person has been doing it.
Honorable, if exhausted, Honorable Dafi Oppong, if exhausted, you are submitted.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, I have not. This is my last supplementary. If we are not paying attention, please. please, 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 please.
Honorable, ask that. Oh, what is that?
If you recall,
Honorable,
the first one was rephrased.
Honorable Dafiamapo. Just
Mr.
ask
Speaker,
the last question.
Mr. Speaker, let me say this, that clearly the Electoral Commission in the present circumstances, based on the facts he has brought to this house, is incapable. Oh, can you be quiet? Can you be quiet and listen to me? Speaker, you are a senior member of this house, so take your time. You are a senior member.
Honorable Martin Indam.
Mr. Chairman.
Please.
Mr. Chairman, I am saying that based on the facts submitted to this house, the Electoral Commission is incapable of concluding the matters in respect of the parliamentary elections in the December 2024 election.
So what's the question now?
So the question is that would it not be prudent for the Electoral Commission to exercise its powers under Article 45C to declare a fresh elections in Abluma North? Would it not be prudent?
Well, you've asked your question on Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, we are capable of concluding the process. Thank you.
Well. Honorable members.
Mr. Speaker.
Whatever opportunity I'll give you. Don't worry. There's no two ways about
that. Just briefly. A follow up to.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, my question is to the Deputy Head of the Commission. Mr. Chairman, I want to find out from him, at the moment, is there any court order that is preventing you from declaring Abluma North?
Yes. Deputy Commissioner?
No, please. We are only waiting for the security agencies to provide us the protection to conclude. Thank you.
Yes.
Please, can you give me your attention? My last question. You said it is left with 3 polling stations. At the moment, the ones that you have collated, do you have the results, and what are the figures? What has been collated now?
Deputy Commissioner, are you minded to answer this question?
Yeah, we don't have the figures here.
Well. It doesn't have the figures here. I'll give you one. You've already, so yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to ask the
what? He has answered. Commissioner, respond.
Please, we don't have the figures here. We are left with the 3 polling stations, then we'll add everything up. We don't have the figures here.
Well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, I just want to ask the Deputy Director, in a reasonable man's view, reasonable man's view, how long will it take? How long will it take the commission to know? Let me finish the question before you come in. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm asking, in a reasonable man's view, how long will it take the commission to come to terms or to understand that the people of Abluma North are not represented in this chamber, and for that matter, waiting for the security agency in that collation to declare the result will go a long way to affect the people of Abluma North. Rather than doing so, you just need to do the needful, which is the other option you know. Thank you very much.
I think on the contrary, we think that the security agents should be able to do their job. And we've had several meetings with them. So we are hoping that they would, if they tell us that tomorrow they are ready, we are ready.
Well. Yes. Honorable Efia.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Chairman. And let me commend the Deputy Commissioner for the EC for the detailed response to the House. Mr. Speaker, according to the Deputy Commissioner, all processes have been done to the point that it's left with only 3 polling stations to be completed. Now, with the issue of security, if they write to the national security, the security task force, and they are unable to give them timelines to help them complete the collation exercise, what have they done in escalating this issue of police assistance to any higher authority beyond the security task force? Have they pegged it above the security task force so that we can get it done?
Yes.
We haven't escalated it beyond the police, because in my response I indicated the police said they were getting advice. So we are waiting for them to write to us based on the advice for us to proceed. So we haven't done any escalation.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. So in the event where now they say they are seeking the opinion from Attorney General, and the Attorney General over the period has not gotten back to the EC, is it the position of the EC that we are going to stay in abeyance until when? And so can the EC tell us, beyond the security, you have the mandate to provide the people of Ghana the final results of Abluma. Beyond the security that is not available, what can the EC do, since you have the final figures as at now, to give it to the good people of Ghana?
Yes, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, EC, we report to Parliament. I know until recently the Special Budget Committee, but now we know the Committee on Independent Constitutional Bodies. So we give it some time. If we are not getting any proper feedback, we'll write to the Committee on Independent Constitutional Bodies that this is what is happening. And we know that the police are there to serve all of us. And we believe that the Parliament should be able to invite them to explain why they are not doing what they are supposed to do. Thank you.
Well. Let me go to... Is it Kuma? No. I mean, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Commissioner for the answers. And then my question is on the issue of the cost items he itemized going downwards. He talked of the error that at a point it was $13. They brought it to $7.
Honorable member.
And they brought...
Honorable member.
Yes.
I think we've gone beyond that question. That was the earlier question.
Mr. Speaker, I'm coming. Mr. Speaker, I beg you, this house is a house of records. I beg you. Mr. Speaker,
this house is a house of records. If we are doing registration and
Honorable
the
member,
commissioner,
honorable member, please,
the commissioner decided
honorable member,
they were not doing registration at various polling stations, and that they centralized the cost on members of parliament to carry people to come to places and register. And today, the costs were borne by parliamentary candidates. And now you tell us that you reduce costs. It's not a fact. It is not a fact. We bore the cost. We had to carry people from left, right, center to go and register. It must be clear.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you so much for the opportunity. I heard the commissioner or deputy commissioner saying that we have only 3 polling stations to finish with the collation. I'm asking him, with the 3 polling stations, is he going to collate with original pink sheets or a scanned pink sheet?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
During the last exercise, when four pink sheets were accepted, in that same meeting there were supposed to be 7 in all. So all the presiding officers of those specific polling stations have confirmed. So, but we don't know the figures, but the returning officer has all the details. So we believe that once the environment is created, the returning officer should be able to do the work for us to have a member of parliament for the Abluma North constituency. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the question is not answered. I'm asking him, is he collating with the original pink sheet or a scanned pink sheet? This is the answer I want. So original or a scanned pink sheet? This is a simple question.
For the 3 outstanding, I will not be able to say exactly, because I know some of the presiding officers too came around with a carbon copy. So, but what I can say without any doubt is that there are 3 polling station results that are outstanding. And when they are doing it, they will do it with the agents of the parties. Thank you.
I think if I'm going back to the question, the questioner, asked first. Mr. Speaker, so if he's going to collect the rest of the results with a scanned pink sheet, then there's a problem. That's a serious problem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to lay a premise where last week, Mr. Speaker, last week the Minister for Interior was here. I had the authority to ask him the state of the Abluma elections. Mr. Speaker, he said that after mentioning the 13th May issue, where they reported to the Electoral Commission that the court has raised, or one of the parties has raised an issue, that there's a pending court issue. Apart from that, the Electoral Commission have not written to them again. Mr. Speaker, I asked a second follow-up question to ask whether it is true that the Electoral Commission has not written to them. Mr. Speaker, the minister came back to emphasize that the Electoral Commission has not written to them asking for security. I want the Electoral Commission to now tell us, after 13th, how many times has it written to the police or the security agency requesting for protection to conduct the collation? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Commissioner.
After, if my memory, we wrote another one on the 15th of May. But we have a constant, someone at the police service who is in charge. We engage regularly. So we do that. But in terms of writing, we wrote on the 15th. 15th. Yes.
Well.
Yes. Yes. So we have somebody, one of the commissioners we engage regularly. Thank you.
Let me go to my senior.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sorry, Mr. Chairman. You are saying that you have written to the police to provide several times to provide you with security so that you can go ahead and then declare the results. Now, more than 5 months now, don't you think that you have to consider the idea of reorganizing the elections so that you can go ahead and declare the results for them to get a representation? Are you considering that option of reorganizing fresh elections? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please allow him to answer, please, I beg you.
No, that question has been asked, but I didn't hear that. Respond. For your sake, you will respond again.
For emphasis.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. The Commission strongly believes that for the processes that have gone on so far, if we go back to the good people of this country that we are abolishing everything, it will not be good for our democracy. It will not be good for our democracy. Thank you. So let's allow the process to continue. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask, according to the explanation we have gotten here, it means that the results are not out because the office of the Attorney General has not given permission to the police or given advice to the police to give the protection that the Electoral Commission needs to declare. In other words, or is that the case? Or in other words, it means it's the Attorney General's office who is delaying the result. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, Chairman, thank you so much.
It's not a question. Irrelevant.
Chairman, thank you so much. Mine is a sequel to the inquiry Dr. Affo made earlier. Indeed, if I recall properly, the Deputy Commissioner told us that all is set for the declaration of the Abluma North result, except for the fact that they cannot provide security. And that my understanding is that it is only the police that is making this whole exercise impossible for them to declare. May I know clearly if they are ready with the original pink sheet of the 3 remaining polling stations? Original or not?
Honorable member, this question has been asked.
Speaker, respectfully, it's not been answered.
There are standing orders, a question that has been asked. We don't go back to it.
Speaker, Chairman, it's not been answered.
The Chairman, as I indicated, Abluma North has 281 polling stations. We've been able to conclude 278. So the 3, when we get to the completion, the returning officer will be there to conclude the process. Thank you.
Honorable members, should I get to yes, Gary?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, in 2024.
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Chairman, thank you. In Dominican, what we did was we used the tally cards of the parties, which was even far beyond the scan sheet. But let me say this: the scan sheet were not used in isolation. The agents of the parties endorsed. So if you look at the narration, some point NDC will bring some carbon copies. Then the MPP people will endorse in that manner. So it wasn't, the scan copies were not used in isolation. And at a point when one of the parties decided not to accept, we invited the presiding officers who conducted who supervised the elections in those specific polling stations. So nothing was done one-sided. Everything was done with the support of the 2 parties. Thank you.
Speaker, just a follow-up.
Yes.
Just a follow-up. Honorable Chair, are we saying that at all times material all the pink sheets and scanned sheets were confirmed by the respective party agents, including the EC staff who were supposed to be doing this work?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Yes, please.
Very well. Now, I'll take comfort. Do you then take the Minister for Education? The lady wants to talk, so I will give the ladies also the opportunity. And Matthew, then I come to the two leaders.
Just ask a question.
Come again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let him listen to her first, then I'll come to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please, my question is, now that you don't have original copies of the 3 police stations left, and they have scanned copies, how ready are you to declare the results? Because I know you need original copies to do that, but you don't have it. You still have scanned copies. So how ready are you, waiting for the security to give you protection to declare the results? Thank you.
Well. Yes.
I think I mentioned that we have done 278. The 3 will be handled by the returning officer. And I made the point that there are some of the presiding officers, just when you have called them to come and endorse the pink sheet, then they will probably even provide you with a carbon copy. So when we get there, we have the agents of the parties. This is something which is done at the collation center. Thank you.
Yes, let him go to Bandai. Honorable Marty Indam. He has asked question. He has asked question.
Thank you, Chair. I want to find out from the EC. Although he's discounted some kind of proposition about a rerun, but I want to find out if event that you want to rerun, will you need police service? Will you need security?
Yes, please.
You will need security.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I want to ask another question. We are improving, and in conducting elections, we need backups. So scan copies and other technology that you deployed, were the parties aware of some of these technologies that you deployed? Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Well. Let him come to Honorable Comfortdeyo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, presidential and parliamentary election, we took just 1 day, 10 hours, and we had results. And we are having challenge with just 1. MPP is saying 3 police stations. We are saying 37 police stations. Look at how you are going round. And 6 good months, still we are at where we are. The bureaucracy on this one is too much for us. Consider their mental health. If you want to rerun, it will take you just 10 hours, but you finish. So I'm begging you, if you cannot find results there, just do the 10 hours rerun. And let's have our
what is your question?
Women, above the women there, one of them will win. And their mental health, consider their mental health.
Honorable Comfortdeyo, what is your question?
Today and say thank you, Abluma North, for voting for me. Then the other one go and destroy it. Then this one to bring another signboard. Please, we need just 10 hours to solve this problem. The bureaucracy, I've now seen why we are having challenges. Because simple thing that you need 10 hours to do, look at how you are going. Going here, going there, seeking this, seeking that. I beg you, 10 hours, 1 day, fix the date, and let's go and do the rerun. 10 hours, 1 result.
Yes. Yes. Okay, let me give it to you.
Chairman. Chairman, I want to know from the EC. I want to know from the EC, based on two stories in the Bible. Based on two stories in the Bible. I want to know from the EC, based on two stories in the Bible. Based on two stories. The first one, two women, Solomon, about the death of a child. And the one that whose child was alive had insisted that the child alive should not be killed when the other one had requested for it. The second one is the David story, where David had so many wives and concubines, but still went for the wife of his commander. I want to know from the EC whether it is only the NDC that is requesting for a rerun of the whole election in Abluma North.
Well,
whether it is only the EC that is calling for the
Deputy
rerun,
Commissioner.
the NDC.
Deputy Commissioner,
the only
are you minded to respond to the question?
Yes, of this election based on only 3 polling stations.
We've heard you.
We have data on them.
We have heard you. Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
The Abluma North parliamentary constituency election was contested by only 2 parties, the MPP and the NDC. So I don't know whether what he's saying will apply, but only 2 parties contested. And the EC, as I said, we believe that this must come to an end. So we are seeking the support of the House to help us to complete it. Thank you.
Honorable Harun Idrisu.
So you pick. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and leaders. Mine is just one of 3 observations, but Mr. Speaker, they will come in a question form before I make my proposition. Mr. Electoral Commissioner, are you aware that declaration of results is governed by law?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Yes, please.
And are you aware that the law that allows you to declare results defines where results should be declared?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Is a police station one of those entities lawfully allied where you should declare results?
Deputy Commissioner.
No, the question again.
Is a police station where results should be declared by the Electoral Commission in accordance with law and the constitutional instrument guiding your conduct of elections, whether presidential or parliamentary?
At times, circumstances allow that.
No, Mr. Speaker. You see, Mr. Speaker, that's why ordinarily I waited to listen. This House, Parliament, is the guardian of human rights and freedoms, and Parliament is the guardian of fundamental freedoms, and Parliament is the guardian of independent constitutional bodies. And now my observation, so that you understand where I'm coming. Mr. Speaker, let's not take these matters for granted. If you have 276 constituencies of the Republic, you declare results with outstanding 9, and you have the comfort to sleep and wait for 1 or 2 weeks or more to declare the rest. Do you know what will happen to our democracy if you had something akin to 2020? You know what will happen to our democracy? That you declare results and you have up to 9 constituencies. Regardless, I'm not interested in who won the seat, but you have an independent electoral commission. You are to declare results. And Mr. Speaker, that results has an implication and consequence on the balance of power. On the balance of power. And the states, whether executive or parliamentary, assuming what would have happened to the country if we were not well behaved, that a certain portion of the population, one is aware that they have no elected representative in parliament, unacceptable. More so, they have to wait more than 30 days, 20 days for the Electoral Commission to do that. Mr. Speaker, it's about their integrity. For me, that's even shameful that today you are coming because Parliament have summoned you. What's the state of integrity of the Commission? That you conduct an election and you want to hold on.
Honorable Minister for Education, thank you. Thank you. I think appropriate time.
No? Okay. No worries.
Honorable members,
To be you.
Honorable members, I have allowed him.
So
I have allowed him to speak because
of
his standing. But at least, honorable members, he has already asked 3 questions. He's now advising, and I think the commissioner was brought here to answer questions. Please, at appropriate forum, we will give him the opportunity to do what he's doing. But for now, I think we have done that. So can we now go to the leadership? Okay, let me give former minister for my friend, I gave him the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to take over from where my good friend, the Minister for Education, left off. That we are running a democracy, and we should allow institutions of state to work. I feel very sad as former Minister for Defense that the impression is being created that the Ghana police, and if they cannot do it, to be supported by the military, cannot give the Electoral Commission protection for 3 constituencies. I feel very sad. 3 polling stations. I feel very sad. That is not the type of democracy. That is not the type of democracy we should be running. That there are 3 polling stations that should be declared to give over 300,000 people. Oh, but the man just spoke. The man just spoke. But Commissioner, leave him. Leave him. Are you done?
Continue. If you are not done, continue.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague opposite is the chief whip of this house. The majority chief whip. It is his duty to bring order to the house. I'll leave it at that. It's your duty. I was sitting here as deputy leader 12 years ago. I sat here as deputy leader of the opposition 12 years ago. It's your duty to bring order to this house. And I'll leave it at that. If you want to heckle me next time, give it to a backbencher to heckle me. Not you. But, Mr. Chairman, is the commission telling me, because I've seen it done before, in 2004, 2008, I've seen it done in 2012, and even to 2016, is the commission telling me that they cannot set a date at the headquarters of the commission and declare the 3 police stations? Is that what you are saying?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Are you saying that you cannot set a date for the 2 political parties if you have enough evidence to declare? You are saying you cannot set a date at your headquarters and declare the results?
Honourable Member, you've asked your question.
Mr. Chairman, the Commission has always made the point clear that we want to work with all the political parties to come to the conclusion of the exercise. And that's what the posture we've adopted, that we work with the MPP, the NDC, so that we complete the process. But Mr. Chairman, let me say, the Minister for Education was asking a question. We don't gazette collation centers. So in the wisdom of the EC, if a place we had intended to do the collation will give us a problem, we can change. And that was the reason why we had to go to the police headquarters. because we don't gazette collation centers. So if there is any problem, we just move to another place. Thank you.
Well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, the whole nation is watching us. Here's my question. The constituency had 281 polling stations. 219 were collated with carbon pink sheets. That means 62 were left. How many of these 62 did the commission use scanned pink sheets to collate?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the 62, when I was reading, I made the point that the MPP also came with 25. I said NDC brought 54 carbon copies. MPP also brought 25 carbon copies. So for the scanned copies, so far with what we've done, 34. But as I said, the agents of the parties endorsed some of them. Then the others were also authenticated by the presiding officers of those various polling stations. Thank you.
So, Mr. Commissioner, is it the case that when a scan sheet is being used, the two parties must agree to it?
Must agree. The two parties must agree. So when it got to the point when one of the parties was not agreeing, we had to invite the presiding officers of those polling stations who signed off. So they were invited and they endorsed it. And all this was on national TV. Thank you.
Well. I'm now coming to leadership. We can't. What? Honourable members, we've had a lot. Let's now restrict. Let's now come to leader. Come again.
My question was, of the 62, and I'm giving a specific number, how many of the 62 did they use scanned pink sheets to collect? We want a direct response. 20, 30, 40.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I said 34.
Well, honourable members, I think we've had, let me come to leadership. Come again. Yes. Honourable minority leader. Welcome.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my first question, I will read the Hansard of this House dated the 11th of June 2025, which Hansard contains a response to a question asked by Honorable Nana Asafo-Ejei Aye on behalf of Honorable Daniel Nana Addo Kenneth, MP for Okere. Mr. Speaker, at column 83, quote, question, Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask the Minister for Interior the specific arrangement made by the Ministry to ensure the provision of adequate security for the collaboration and declaration for collation and declaration of parliamentary results of the Abluma North constituency. Now, the Minister of Interior, Al-Hajj Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, responds as follows on column 83. Mr. Speaker, following the request by the Electoral Commission for the Ghana Police Service to provide security for the completion
of the collation of Abluma North constituency parliamentary election results. National Election Security Task Force convened a stakeholder meeting with the Electoral Commission where it was agreed that the task force will meet both the NDC and the NPP before the proposed date for the completion of the collation. The answer continues at column 84. I continue to read. Mr. Speaker, during the meeting with the National Democratic Congress, the task force was informed that there is a pending suit at the Supreme Court bordering on the collation. The task force was subsequently served with a motion paper that had been filed at the Supreme Court objecting to the completion of the collation. Checks conducted by Election Task Force at the Registry of the Supreme Court by the Legal Directorate of Ghana Police Service confirmed the pending suit at the court. Unquote. Mr. Speaker, on the strength of this, I want to ask the Deputy Chair whether he has become aware that the Election Security Task Force, led by the police, is unable to provide security for the completion of collation of the outstanding 3 polling stations because of any court injunction, and if he's become aware whether they've been served with any court process in respect of that.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Chairman, we have not been served with any process. And as I said, the police has made us aware that they are getting the advice. So I know from next week we'll continue to engage them and we'll let them know maybe we want to do it on this particular day. Once they are ready to provide us the security, we'll just proceed. So again, from the side of the Electoral Commission, we are ready to conclude the process. Thank you.
Well, Chairman, I know that all these processes started before the 6th of May. And prior to the 6th of May, the general understanding was that when a process is filed in the Supreme Court or any superior court of adjudicature and it's seeking some injunctive reliefs, once the process is served, parties must restrain themselves or that the process operates impliedly as a stay. Now, we know that in Kowasefwa, which is some 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, the Supreme Court has been very unequivocal that nothing stops a constitutional body or a statutory body from undertaking a statutory or constitutional mandate unless expressly injuncted by a court. I'm just putting that across. Now, Mr. Deputy Commissioner, in your response to us, you made reference to Domiko Abenya and stated that Domiko Abenya also had similar challenges where parties, in this case, the candidate of the NDC and the candidate of MPP, both could not provide you with original pink sheets. You further went on to talk about the fact that both candidates could not also provide you with scanned copies of the pink sheet for you to validate. However, you were able to rely on some tally cards to conclude the results, and by the grace of God, our colleague on the other side was declared the MP-elect and eventually got sworn in by this House. May you explain what you mean by the tally cards in the absence of the scan pink sheet?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, what the standard practice at the polling stations is that each of the candidates or the political parties, they have this card where their agents, they take inventory of the people who are coming to vote. When they finish, you're able to know the results for candidate A, candidate B. So all the parties, that has been the standard practice. So in Dominican Benya, when we got to the point where we couldn't get the results, the original results, and there were no other avenues, we resorted to that. And indeed, it confirmed. So if my memory serves me right, when we were even declaring, when we were declaring the Dominican Benya, one of the, I think the MPP candidate was not even there, but the commission went ahead to complete the process. So what we are doing now with reference to the Abluma North, we know we are well within the law. Administratively, anytime we have a challenge, we go around to see what we can do to get the results. And as I said previously, we should be very careful about the integrity of our process. If we are not very careful, we may end up getting people who go and disrupt the process because they know when they do that, we are going to have a rerun. And those are the things all of us must support to avoid. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, leader, please. We have a lot of it, so don't look at them. Look at me and go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I was coming to this very important point, and the commissioner has managed to take the wind out of my very good sail. But it needs emphasis that although the candidate of the MPP, Mr. Mike Okwe Jr., objected and protested, he lawfully exercised those rights without coming to your offices to obstruct, thereby you declaring for the other candidate, because I was indeed at the time, an authorized officer from our party to coordinate the process. We disagreed, and I said no, but you had relied on precedents to say that it is the only way, and we agreed. That said, I want to know from you, these 3 polling stations you mentioned, you also talked about the presiding officers who appended their signatures having to confirm. May I know from you whether these 3 polling station scan sheets have had their presiding officers confirming their signatures on the pink sheet?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner,
when it comes to the parliamentary elections, the one in charge is the returning officer. From the engagement we have with the returning officer, he tells us he's ready to complete the process. So if the returning officer tells us he's ready, then I believe that he should have what it takes to complete the process. Thank you.
Yes. This is question 4.
No problem. This is the 4. Mr. Deputy Commissioner, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, a very respected senior member of this House, whose politics started way before this August House. And as a senior member, former leader, and now education minister, he's raised a very important constitutional issue, which matter has as a constitutional body,
you owe all you've said today tells us one thing. You are ready. Now, is there any lesser price to pay? Is there any lesser price to pay than to discharge your duty and suffer any punishment for it? Because, Mr. Chairman, the Deputy Commissioner is saying that all they need is police protection. But in the fight for civil liberties and in the protection of rights and freedoms, people have suffered for it. I want to ask you, don't you think that you can take the moral high ground with all the confirmations done, like you did in the Domiko Abenya? Domiko Abenya, when you were declaring, there was no police. I was available. Domiko Abenya, there was no police. You, a party protested, but you proceeded. So don't you think that on the strength of what Mr. Idrisu and Mr. Nitiwo have advised, coupled with the very point I'm making, you as a commission can boldly proceed to conclude this, so that Ghanaians will see that the police has delayed you and you had proceeded to do your constitutional duty even at the peril of your life. Don't you think that you would have to proceed on that part?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think the Commission has looked at several options, and the Commission came to the conclusion that we think it will be in the best interest of the Commission and the country to have all the parties on the same page for us to make progress. So we think that, and we coming here is an excellent opportunity for us, for the House, to ensure that all of us are on the same page, because we believe that we have come very far as a country, and this is something we should be able to agree in the interest of our country's democracy. Thank you.
I'll give the final question, yes.
Mr. Commissioner, although I find this your response quite rich and curious, the rules of engagement now do not permit me to go on a certain path with you. But if you're talking about collective cooperation of parties to give a certain positive signal, then the suggestion out there that the Commission was not fair in the matter of Michael Okwe Jr. of Domiko Abenya will suffice, because you are anchoring your reason. You are anchoring your reason on the grounds of fairness, that the Commission wants both parties to be available. But in the Domiko Abenya, in a similar way, one party protested and was not available, but you proceeded to declare. So don't you think that, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I laid the foundation. Let me finish. Don't you think that the path you are choosing, that until all the parties are available, will amount to EC itself sidestepping its precedence in the Domiko Abenya situation, and that EC would be acting unfair to Mr. Michael Okwe, who protested and who objected and who disagreed, and EC insisted that, well, this is the right path, and you proceeded without him.
Deputy Commissioner, if you are minded, you can respond. If you are not,
I think there is an aspect I would like to speak to.
Mr. Chairman, Order 89(1) does not permit a supplementary question to introduce a new matter that was not contained in the original question. That is the rule. The leader must learn to play by the rules. He can't introduce Dominic Kwabenya into this matter. If he's minded, he should file his own question on Dominic Kwabenya, like I have done in respect of Abluma North. Then we interrogate it. But you cannot be suggesting that a wrong was done in the declaration of Dominic Kwabenya. It wasn't contained in the original question. The law does not permit him to do that.
Well. Honorable Deputy Commissioner, that's why I'm giving those. If you are mindful to respond, fine. Other than that, I'll ask the leader to file a separate question. Are you responding?
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
Okay,
Yes, please.
let's.
I think what I want to say
Leader,
is that
you've asked the question, please. You've asked the question. You let him respond.
Mr. Speaker, I'm concerned. Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable,
Mr. Speaker,
please, you listen to me.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, with respect, you didn't call the chief whip. I'm drawing your attention to a matter. You didn't call the chief whip, yet he came in to make a determination on a matter. I beg of you, Mr. Speaker, we all want to play it fair. We all want to play it fair. When a question is asked, you've asked him to answer. All right? You've asked him to answer. Let us play the rule fairly. The man, he referred to Dominic. Mr. Speaker,
have you finished?
He referred to Dominic Kwabenya in his answer. He copiously referred to Dominic Kwabenya, and that is the reason why I asked Dominic Kwabenya in the supplementary. Mr. Speaker, let's play fair.
So am I not playing fair? He just got up, spoke, yet I asked the Deputy Commissioner to respond to the question. It means he didn't hear me before speaking. So I've asked the Deputy Commissioner to go ahead and respond to you. So, Deputy Whip, please.
Speaker, with your leave, let me read Order 89.1.
Honorable
Speaker,
member.
please, bear me out. Order 89.1 is to the effect that as soon as the question is answered, any member, beginning with the member who asks the question, may without notice ask a supplementary question for further clarification of any matter or fact on the answer, but a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Honorable member.
So if you stand here and say that in his answer he introduced a matter, that is an answer. The rule says you cannot introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Honorable member.
So the leader should also learn to play by the rules.
I'm sitting here trying to be fair to every side. The commissioner, in responding to the question, made reference to Dominic Kwabenya. So if somebody, honorable, please allow me, please. He made reference to Dominic Kwabenya. So if somebody is also asking question and relating it to Dominic Kwabenya, I think it is fair. That is why I'm asking him to respond. Honorable Deputy Commissioner, please respond to the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I made the point that the Commission would wish that both the MPP and the NDC are on board and we move. However, what is very, very important is that we need the police protection. Once we have the police protection, we proceed. So for that one is the most important thing to us. Then we do our work because per the law, we are mandated to do that. So once the police assure us that they are going to do their work, we are not so much interested in Party A or Party B. We just go ahead and do our work. But we would wish that all the parties are on the same page. Thank you.
Leader. Please, we've come to you.
Thank you very much for coming to answer the questions. I have listened very carefully to you, and you're saying that collating the results, continuing to collate the results, has become very, very risky without police protection. And so you can only collate the results with police protection. What has made the collation very, very risky without police protection.
Yes,
Yeah,
Deputy
Chairman,
Commissioner.
Thank you. We've always done the collation with the police protection. So this is not a departure. That has been the what we've been doing. But let me also say, in the High Court ruling which I cited, that same ruling also ordered the police to provide security to the Electoral Commission. So although the ruling was, yes, you go ahead and do your work, it also required the police to provide us with that protection. And all the collation center, we have police protection. Thank you.
Very well.
Please, listen to my question and answer it. No, it's not about not liking an answer. It's not about not liking an answer. Throughout the session, I sat here quietly, I listened to everybody. The regulations, the Act, the Representation of People's Act, the Constitution. Is there anywhere in those provisions that say that you must have police present for you to collate results?
Yes, Deputy Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. But we don't have it in our CIs specifically, but beyond that, we have the National Election Security Task Force. So all the security aspects, they handle it.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that you have judged yourself as a result of past incidents relating to your attempt to collate the results, including the burning of one of your offices, the destruction of the records that you have, which makes it difficult for you to collate, and now you are relying on third-party records for the collation. Now, the point I'm trying to get at is you have adjudged that it is risky for you to collate without police presence. And I'm asking, why is it risky? Because that is at the crux of the matter. Why has it become risky? Has it become risky because the two sides in the election, one side is disputing certain records, the other side is insisting on certain records. And because of the disagreement over these records, one side is threatening to disrupt the process if you proceed to collate, for which reason you need security. Is that what it is all about?
Yes, please. That's what is happening.
So, can you tell us exactly what it is that side is challenging?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. We know the two parties that contested in the parliamentary elections. The parliamentary election in Abluma North. When we finished the collation, when we started the collation on the 7th, we had, after almost 163 or something, all of them came that their pink sheets had been destroyed. When we were left with a little over almost 120 or so. So we decided to resort to other measures to be able to do that. And there was clear understanding until it got to the remaining 37 polling stations. And when it got to the remaining 37 polling stations, the 62, one of them brought carbon copies, which was accepted. The other party accepted, so there was no problem. Of the remaining 37, one of the parties brought that, and the other party started accepting it. And when it got to about 17 or so, remaining 17, then the other party said no, they will no longer accept it. So that was the point we started bringing in the presiding officers to come and authenticate whether indeed the signatures were their signatures and whether the figures written there were the figures they actually wrote. So that's why we got to that point. So we did 14. And out of it was left with 17 and we did 14. So we still have the 3 outstanding. Thank you.
Yes.
So the source of insecurity is as a result of one party challenging one that 25 of the 59 copies were actually carbon copies and should not be added to the scanned copies.
No, there were 62, and they brought 25 carbon copies which were accepted. So it was left with 37. And the 37, the agents of both parties accepted almost about 20 of them. So the remaining ones were those we brought in the presiding officers to come and confirm.
At your June 12th meeting, you had your last meeting was June 12th with the parties.
Yes.
Was
please.
June 12th.
Yes, please.
The parties were present. At your June 12th meeting, one of the parties insisted that they were not accepting any of the results beyond the 25 carbon copies, that they were demanding that 37 polling stations should be rerun, whilst one party was also insisting that only 3 polling stations should be rerun, because that is the polling stations that they thought were not accepted. So there's still a dispute between the two parties. One party standing at 37 polling stations, the other standing at 3 polling stations. And one party is insisting that the presiding officers did not participate in some of the processes. So the issue is the fact that you don't have the original records. The two parties also say they've lost their records. In some instances, one party comes with some records and you decide that you are ruling that that record will be accepted. Sometimes the other party is protesting, because don't forget that the whole process of the coalition was covered by TV3. TV3 covered it live. And on TV3, we saw challenges to the acceptance of some of the scanned copies. And we also saw your staff overruling the challenges and insisting that they will accept those scanned results. So, yes, TV3 covered it. It was a public event, and TV3 covered it. The footages are there and can be produced. So clearly there is some disagreement about the evidence. You are making categorical statements that you have covered all except 3. But there are footages establishing that there is disagreement by one party regarding a number far in excess of the 3. 1, that being the case, can this House, as a parliament, invite the parties individually, the returning officers, the presiding officers, the agents, and the officers who we saw on the TV, in the footages, and try to establish the facts as you are alleging here? Can this House go beyond your allegations and invite the parties and ascertain the facts to decide if we should go ahead and force the police to go and then provide security for you to collate and declare the results?
I hope you got the question.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if it's the function of Parliament to do that. But what I can say without any doubt is that all the processes have been very, very participatory. We have involved the agents of all the candidates in the process. And as I said, when they got to a point and one of the parties was disputing the scanned copies, that's when we invited the presiding officers. So the presiding officers on national TV admitted and they endorsed the results. And I've made this point earlier. The Electoral Commission, we are not interested in the outcome of elections. We are only... No, let me make the point. We are interested in the processes leading to a very, very successful outcome. And we think that that is what we must fight for. So I made the point that we are beseeching the leadership of the House. We are beseeching the leadership of the House, because our elections are the best. Our elections are the best. When you look at electoral integrity project, Ghana is ranked number 4 in the whole of Africa. And those who have seen the EU report on the 2024 election, they gave us almost 90%. In 2020, they gave us about 95%. So clearly, the Electoral Commission is doing its best. So we think that support us to be able to achieve our objective of becoming one of the best when it comes to the business. All the processes, there have been no bias. Everything has been very, very transparent. Thank you.
Yes, leader, your fourth question.
So the process has been participatory. You've tried to listen to all sides. You are left with 3 polling stations by your account. By the account of one of the parties, they dispute 37 polling stations. You need the protection of the police to carry on the rest of the exercise. You are not getting the protection of the police to carry on the rest of the exercise because by the police's own evaluation, there's a security threat. Publicly, they've said they have the capacity to deal with it. Then they say there's a legal matter, and on and on and on and on. This House, as a parliament, definitely has the capacity to go beyond you, where you have reached and you have challenges. This House, as Parliament, can go beyond you and listen to all the parties and give directives. So the question yes, this House has the capacity. This House can direct the Minister of Interior. This House can direct the IGP. This House can direct the Minister for Defense. This House can direct the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. So the point I'm making is,
But you cannot direct the EC.
This House will not direct the EC. Okay. Before this House gives a directive, the House has to convince itself of the facts. And so far, this House has heard only from you. This House has not heard from the 2 political parties. So the question I'm asking, are you comfortable with this House setting up a committee to invite the parties, to hear from them, to confirm the facts, so that it can give the directives that you need?
Yes. 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 Deputy Commissioner, you may answer the question.
Mr. Chairman, as the Minister for Education indicated earlier, the Parliament represents the people of Ghana. And if the EC is an institution of Ghana, anytime we're having problems, we come to now the Committee on Independent Constitutional Bodies. So what the EC wants the Parliament to support is get the police to support us to complete the work. Thank you.
Honorable Leader, you may take your last question.
Yeah, this House is ready to support you. Initially, when the minority raised the issue, I assured the minority that I will go and find out exactly what happened. I went to the police.
Honorable members, let's give hearing to the Leader of the House.
Mr. Speaker, this House must at all times endeavor to take sides to enforce justice based on facts that we are not in doubt. Now, you're saying that when it became difficult, you invited the presiding officers so that they could confirm and authenticate their signatures on the scanned copies. I went to the police, and the police who were present indicated to me that on 2 or 3 or 4 occasions, some of the presiding officers actually raised questions about the authenticity of the signatures. I was there. I spoke to the police directly, and 2 or 3 or 4 of the presiding officers
Apologies for the cut in transmission, and this is to make way for the Friends and Family Show, which comes up at exactly PM. But you can follow the ongoing meeting with the Electoral Commission on all our social media handles. We have Channel 1 Newsroom as well, and you can also follow on City 97.3. There's the live proceedings of the parliamentary debates currently ongoing with the Electoral Commission. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Good evening.